Good morning, traders. I hope that you guys just enjoyed that special exclusive interview from Hyliion's Investor Day. And definitely, if you didn't check it out, all my live traders out there, I would definitely tell you to check it out after the show. I'll throw up a link so that you guys can get right to that interview and check it out a little bit later. But let's get right to the trading action. It's time to go ahead and see if we can make a little bit of that green stuff. Let's get after it. It's live trading with Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. I mean, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
The boys are back in town. You know it. We're ready to get after this market. And it's one of those days where you just come in and you say, what the hell happened overnight? Because it seems like it was one of those days where I've been talking about this on pre-market prep, where I feel like it's constantly like this little bit of this little like kind of dead cat bounces that stop out the shorts. And then the very next day you come in and you're like, what the hell, man? I got stopped out yesterday at like 420 on NVIDIA, and then I wake up this morning, it's right back down to 400. Well, that's how hard this market is, right? It's just not going to be one way. And if you are going to be taking shorts, one thing that I've seen, at least in this market, is you might need to be really quick to the profits. It seems like if you want to get them, right? Because if not, and forgive my French here, but this shit can happen. That's the truth, where you see a stock go from like NVIDIA, on Monday, it goes from 426 down to 401. Then just yesterday, all the way back there to 419, 420s, and then right back down to 398. I'll tell you one thing, that's going to be hard to trade. That's true. And I'm with you, Dave. We got to ring the register when we have it. Right. And I think that that's one thing that we need to understand in this market. And I've been understanding more and more. You guys know I love to go for shorts. And a perfect example is like on XOM. I got down there to the 102s, maybe should have took a little bit of profits, and I've been looking for what? More of that continuation move. We don't get too many of these in this market. I think we're getting a little bit spoiled seeing charts like NVIDIA to the upside that made this huge run and kept continuing to the upside. So we think that a lot of stocks can continue on swings and things like that. The truth is, there's not many continuation patterns that have been working. So we'll see what happens today. Will we get more tech breakdown, or will we get a bounce? Of course, a lot of chip concerns out there today, but that's going to do it for at least my outlook going into the overall market. I'll go and kick it to Ryan. We'll get into some smaller names. And of course, if you guys got a ticker, throw it up in the chat.
Zunaid, get ready, because I'm going to rip this fast. I know we only got 7 minutes to the open, and I am not looking to short anyone else's time. Really quick, just to kind of pick up where Mitch left off. Remember, this is why shorting isn't easy. This is why trading isn't easy. This is why bear markets can be very, very difficult. You get a bounce like yesterday, you think, maybe this is over. Maybe we're going to bounce, only to return to the lows the next day. This is one of the reasons why I'm not actively taking positions that mirror the market overnight, because I don't have an edge from day to day which way the market's going to go. Instead, I actually wait for my intraday opportunity and try to capitalize on that. So the same thing here. We did pop yesterday. Looks like we're going to kind of come back in today. Really, the question for me to get some more upside momentum is, do we break the top of the candle from yesterday? That high was 436.81. We're currently at 435.20. That's what we're going to be watching. We'll use ETFs to trade them. Now, as far as some of the smaller names, we do have some issues today. They're going to be in play. First one here is going to be Tovex. This is Theravia Biologics, excuse me. They're trading higher after the company announced FDA orphan drug designation for pancreatic cancer. So we have a pancreatic cancer newsprint here. Now it is leaking a little bit. It's below the VWAP. So let's see if it firms up and trades back to the VWAP. KLR, I believe this is an acquisition. So I'm not sure how much trading yet. Shares are trading higher after Tata Communications Limited announced it will enter into an agreement to acquire the company. So unsure if we're going to get anything there, but that's why that's up. Nerve, we've traded this one before. Nerve popping here. This one moves pretty frequently or pretty wildly, I should say. Let's see. We did have a newsprint here at $20 million private placement priced in the premium at the market. So Nerve popping here. We'll see if that keeps going. OPK going to be on the list here as well. You can see we printed a high of 220, come all the way back into VWAP. It's exactly the type of thing that we want to see. Optco Health shares are trading higher after the FDA approved the Pfizer Optco partnered NGENLA treatment for pediatric growth hormone deficiency. So another biotech there. Joby, this is some of the private aviation air taxis. This is very much like ACHR. This is popping here. Joby Aviation shares are trading higher after the company announced that it received a permit that allows the company to begin flight testing of its production prototype. A couple more things that I want to mention here real quick. One from yesterday is going to be QBTS. We've actually seen this one moving. This has a pretty good 2-day chart here. I want to see if there's any continuation. Knowles old pick EOSC. This has been an absolute monster mover recently. Higher here yet again. And then another one that was brought to us by our news desk team in the happy hour that I'm going to share with you folks here today. EYPT. What's going on with EYPT? Well, we're going to get Nick on. Nick might talk about what happened to Regeneron yesterday. There's a eye treatment or treatments for eye diseases that that people thought Regeneron was going to get. They ended up not getting approval yesterday. There's some thought that might move into EYPT. So I want to keep my eye on this stock as well. Zunaid, that's all I got for right now. I know we're short on time. You're up, my man.
All right, let's go ahead and start off with MLTX. Yesterday, I know it's a stock that we're looking at. As soon as we went ahead and broke the 50 and started basing around, I went ahead and got some shares. As I mentioned, I would in the morning game plan that we had. And then, of course, when we broke out on this retest, I added some more. I am all out of this because I don't like to swing trade a stock like this. However, I am keeping an eye on the $54 level in case this does want to break to the upside. Might even try to nibble a little bit here on the $50 as well and give a stop loss of about $2 since it is a bit of a spready stock. We did go ahead and play. What did we play yesterday? I think we played. Oh, that's right. Not you, but like Unity. Let's go ahead and check that out. We had a break of about $40 down here, and then on that retest we went ahead and got in, and we rode this one all the way towards the 42s, and that's where we got out. It is going to possibly break this 43, so I'm going to go ahead and set an alert there in case we do break retest. I do want to get in at 43 crack to the upside on that one, and then I think we can go ahead and also check out. There's another ticker that I played yesterday. I don't know why I'm not able to remember. Oh, that's what it was. Amazon. This one caused me pain as it was kind of just chopping around this VWAP. But finally, when we broke, I got a chance to grab it. And then a nice little move to the upside on Amazon as I finally sold towards the end of day at 130. So that was a beautiful trade. Looked quite ugly. Looked like a ramen day, but thankfully it turned into a steak type of day. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and set an alert here at 130s. Again, I don't have any equity left. I don't have any options left or anything like that. So 130 crack to the upside. If it does break, set an alert on the retest. You can go ahead and grab it. I personally will have a stop loss of approximately 50 cents to $1, give or take. So that's what I've got on Amazon. Let's go ahead and check out a little bit of SPY action. If the pre-market lows do break on the retest of that 435, I will look to go ahead and short, but my interest more so is in the other stocks that I had already mentioned. If we want, we can go ahead and take a look at oil real quick. You can see that's the range that we're currently in. To the upside, you've got resistance at 68.50. On the bottom side, you've got a floor and a support level of 67. So if we go ahead and break the 68.50 based on the retest of 15 minutes, I will look to go ahead and see if it can at least get 69 cents, or excuse me, $69, and then maybe a little bit more. We've got less than 30 seconds, so best of luck. Stay green. Let's also go ahead and take a look at Apple, as that one did make new all-time highs, and then it kind of came down a little bit. Nothing there that I personally like. And how can we forget Tesla? Good old Tesla. Look at that 250 level. We played this short when it broke it. I did not go ahead and get a chance to short this. I wasn't really by my computer. But now let's see how it behaves around this 250 level. And of course, you've got this 250 to the upside. If it does break the pre-market highs, that's the market. Best of luck. Here we go.
All right, we are open. OPK first move here out of the open is down from the list. Let's see what happens.
All right, there's Unity already crossing the 43. Not going to grab it yet. I'm going to wait for it to retest. It could easily yank.
TOVX looking like it's trying to bounce early here. OPK down to the VWAP. No position in anything yet, just kind of watching stuff. I'll shout it out if I grab something. OPK.
And there's a yank on Unity. This is why we wait.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm leaning to the short side. But I usually lean to the dark side. What can I say?
Buglog, congrats on that CCL trade. You're right. I definitely should have taken that with you. That's CCL. Nice job closing that trade. That was a nice swing. Oh, OPK
It's just
down to the
my thing there
first
is
time.
I can't swing trade a stock all the way up there. I'm with you on the call on cruise lines. Like I like cruise lines. I'm looking for pullbacks, but swinging up there is just I don't know. I think that's a little bit too much risk, but that's just me. I hate swinging after a stock is already extended. You get what I mean? I don't know about you, Ryan, but I try my best not to do that.
Yeah, I try not to buy stuff that's up huge because I feel like maybe that run is already in and it's due for a pullback. I'm with you on that 100%.
That's why I fight myself on like a carnival chart, like trying to jump in the middle of the trend. That's the way I feel like it there. I'm jumping in the middle or near the top, and that's just it's a little scary for me.
I don't really see anything moving here. I guess Joby continuing its move out of the open. I didn't take that though. Again, that was like Mitch was just talking about. That was fairly extended here in the pre-market. Would have liked to have seen a pullback. Joby just ran away. Don't really see anything else moving here. BAOS still kind of at its VWAP. Nerve breaking down. OPK is breaking down. So first move here, definitely some weakness. Looks like Pinterest is trading higher here as well on Pinterest. That's pins, ticker PINS. Bex shouting open. That's ticker OPEN. That's open door. This had a monster move yesterday, continuing some of its move today here. I actually tried to ask one of our real estate experts that's on the happy hour about this yesterday. She was not there, was not available. Hope to do that again. Open having a really strong day here, though. No position for me.
I'm going to keep an eye on Snow. If it's able to go ahead and break this 185 and hold, I will go ahead and enter some calls, which typically are spready. So just an FYI. Also on MLTX, I did go ahead and place an order to purchase some shares at $50 on the spot.
ENVX holding its gains from yesterday. That might be another play here today. We'll see. On ENVX, no position.
All right, what is going on here?
Okay, Megan's asking about Snow. What the heck is going on with Snow? So looking at the news here, we got multiple upgrades this morning. So these aren't actually upgrades, excuse me. These are price target readjustments. We did get a reiteration from Needham and a 216 price target. We got an overweight maintain from Piper Sandler, 210 price target. Goldman Sachs maintaining a buy, Wedbush remaining neutral, and JP Morgan maintaining overweight with a 180 price target. So it looks like you got some price target re-ratings here, Megan, on Snow. We also got a PR here. Snowflake achieves U.S. Department of Defense Impact Level 4 authorization on AWS government cloud. So looks like these are the stories that are driving Snow here this morning. And Jay Rice is in the chat. Jay Rice, I have some news for you. Yes, Jason is playing in the Pro-Am, and really, really cool. Jason was paired with Keegan Bradley, who won the Travelers last week. So really, really excited for Jason. It's too bad they don't show that on TV, and it's too bad I'm not there to heckle him while he's taking his shots.
Oh, you know I'd be thrown out of there real quick.
Dude, bitch. Don't. Okay, so real quick story here. Please interrupt me if you guys please interrupt me if you guys have a trade, but really, really quick story here. Last year at the golf outing, we got paired randomly with people, and there was someone in Jason's group who's really never played golf but was trying to learn. And every time that he would get ready to hit a drive, Jason would just yell, "Just hammer it. Just hammer it." And it was obviously not the easiest thing in the world for someone to learn how to play. So, Mitch, if I was there, I'd be having a little fun with you too. We might get kicked out.
Mitch, I can't believe he just outed your story like that.
What?
I can't believe he just outed your story like that. He would just tell you to hammer it. You can't play golf?
Ha ha ha.
That's terrible. Never mind. Joke, Lin.
Oh, I got you. I understand now. Yeah, it took me a sec there.
No worries. We're broken. We're broken, Zunaid. You fix us, man. How's the market looking, Zunaid?
There's a lot of things we can. You've got Unity here at $40. I'm going to go and try to scalp that at 42. Excuse me. Waiting for a move back to $42.40, give or take. You've also got the SPY, still trying to see if it wants to go ahead and bleed to the downside or not. But the only stock that I'm currently in is Unity at 42, as that's where yesterday you had resistance, and today we'll look to see if that holds on as support.
Michael Murray with some support.
Oh, hell no. You know what?
So I didn't even, I was not talking about Mitch. Just to be clear, I was not talking about Mitch, but that would have been even funnier, honestly.
Michael?
I'll tell you one thing. Golf, no bueno. No bueno.
Michael, the next time that Mitch and the three of us are in the office, me and you might need to tune Mitch up a little bit. This golf blasphemy that he keeps talking about is out of control.
Sorry,
let me know if you got my back on that.
I'm sorry, man. The golf is for the old people, man. No offense,
Michael and I are hitting the gym.
No offense, man, but that's for the old people, man. Come on, man.
And real quick here, Smoke Tuna, you were saying nerve on watch here. Nerve breaking down, but not over yet. We really need to break out of this entire sideways formation on the way down for this to be over. This little pullback here, it's not really set up yet, but let's watch this. Let's not take this off. We've seen nerve run before. No setup currently.
Oh, man. Today was one of those days just not ready to the game, man. My prop, I don't know what happened to it, but the layout just got screwed up. And then I go and I'm looking to try to get like Starbucks short because I'm like, man, I want to get Starbucks short today. Let me see how it's doing. This is how it's doing, guys. You know how it is. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. Today I'm sleeping at the open here and missing the Starbucks takedown. Of course, I still got it on the swing trade, but I wanted to get back in it today on the short side. Yesterday got hit on the upside on this. I wanted to get right back in it. It's down there to 97 already. Just a little frustrating there. Not ready for this. And I don't know what the hell happened to my trade the pool account. Like the whole layout just got destroyed.
On Unity, I'm going to go ahead and sell half of my size right here as it approaches VWAP. So I'm going to go ahead and sell half my size that we got at 42, and the remaining we're going to wait to see if we can get a breakout above 43, but out half as it tests VWAP.
Nerve curling maybe here, no position in it. By the way, Archer moving here with Joby. So we talked about this a little bit. ACHR, this would have been a really good sympathy play. A little disappointed in myself, honestly, considering I mentioned it. Didn't even look at it for a potential trade. Archer pounding the highs right here. Tovex, maybe this is curling off the bottom from the list. Tovex, let's see if we can actually make a move back towards the VWAP here on Tovex.
I'm going to look to go short here at 252.45 on Tesla. I am short. I'm going to give it about $1 or so of a stop loss. See if it wants to come back to test VWAP, as it is testing pre-market highs. Could easily lose on this one.
Yeah, Dan, good to see you this morning. Nerve, we talked about this one before. Actually, I think you and I traded this on the same day one day, the last time that this thing ran. I want to make sure that the setup is good for this. I'm with you. Let's see if 775 holds. So far, so good, but it's early.
And this is where we start taking our gains as Unity rejects VWAP just for the short time being. We'll see if it wants to come back all the way to 42s. We still have half our size remaining. As NVIDIA tries to get above 412s. Let's see how that usually works. Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be a interesting spot. Was resistance yesterday as well.
Tovex continuing its curl here on Tovex. That's TOVX, K-Chat. Tango, Oscar, Victor, X-Ray. Really what I think this needs to do is clear out 120. That seems to be the spot for me. That is your high print of the regular session here. It was a straight down move. If we're able to retrace that entire stick and go higher, 127, your next spot there.
Yeah, Tesla does look like it wants higher. In about 20 cents, I will go to get stopped out. All right, stopped out.
Open is still moving. Zillow had a big day yesterday too, actually holding its highs here. I wonder if this is a real estate sector-wide thing.
Video back up there to 411.44 that's what's definitely affecting that nice little Q run right now that you're seeing. Starbucks starting to come back. I'll see if it can come back a little bit towards like 98.10s, 98.30s.
MLTX, who was looking at this earlier this morning? Was this, I feel like, Smoke Tuna, you've been on this for a couple of days. MLTX here, looking like it's trying to take out yesterday's intraday high. I think there was a negative article by Adam Feuerstein yesterday. I don't have it handy. Let me see if I can find that.
For the folks that are still in Unity, now that's an 80-cent win. Do with it what you want. Do not let this one go red, please. JOBY. Oh, nice. Damn.
Yeah. That was this morning, about an hour ago. Adam did a hit piece on MLTX. Not working here, going higher, at least so far. I seeing ATVI being mentioned in the chat by Jesse. ATVI, the CEO is testifying with respect to that Microsoft deal today. I would expect headlines to come out of this. This is a story that we've been following for quite a while. I have no angle on this and no position going into it, but I expect there to be some type of movement here today. How's NVIDIA doing?
NVIDIA is still trying to get above the 412 itself.
Okay, bouncing back here.
As Mitch looks to find somebody.
No, I'm just a little frustrated. I'm just not prepared today, guys, at the open. Maybe it was because, I had that other interview and stuff, so a little late to the open here. Just missing a whole bunch of moves that I've been waiting for, and it's just a little frustrating, right? XOM going lower, oils, Starbucks going lower. It's just not ready for the moves here. Asleep at the wheel.
Tovex, big volume here on Tovex. TOVX.
Looking for a push back into 98s to get short Starbucks.
I'm actually going to try some TOVX here. We'll see. Only got filled 500 shares there. 117 the entry. That was actually a pretty good entry. We'll see if this pops off 120. Really good volume here on Tovex, by the way. Let's see if we can make a move to that VWAP here.
Come on, give me the retest on the 30-minute. Come on. Completely missed the retest on Amazon at that 130. Silly old me, but I am going to look to go ahead and get in now. On the retest, I'm not paying these prices.
Volume on Tovex building here. This is either going to pop or flush, so this is just be careful. I'm in at 117, looking for a pop above 120 TOVX. And there is a lot of stock being traded here at 119 TOVX. Big prints coming in too. And back down to entry. See if this still maintains its strength and comes right back up. If it does, maybe it'll be stronger through that 119, 120 again.
UPST. I don't know about that one. There's MLTX. Pop into the upside. Do we try to grab some?
TOVX here down a little bit, pulled off that high spot, but not breaking down. So that's good to see here. As long as this holds, I think there might be another up move back towards this level. And like I said, maybe it'll be stronger this time through. So still kind of watching this. Stop here. Let's talk about downside protection. Probably wouldn't let this go much past 108. I'm thinking if we really pull down near the lows, that might be more impetus to kind of break those lows and pull back in. So we'll see here on TOVX. Still in.
There we go, Amazon. Come on down, baby. All right, we are in Amazon at the moment at 130.07. 130.07 on Amazon. Let's go there. So there's that 15-minute retest I want. Let me go ahead and pull it up on these here as well. See if we can buy some. So we're going to head and buy 300 shares. Stop loss would be 129.40.
Powell says 2 more rate hikes. That's consistent with what we've been hearing, Liz. That doesn't shock me at all hearing that. Market is moving lower here.
The downside. All right, MLTX, as it looks to make new highs a day. Again, we are in at 54. Unity, we're still in at 42.09. That one did come down a bit, so we did lose some of our profits.
Gio, I would not say that we are bulls today. I'm definitely still in the short camp. One of the reasons I'm trading some of these smaller caps is because even on days where the market is down, it's easier to find relative strength in some of those names. But overall, I am definitely bearish.
Who said what? Sam, yes, I am long Amazon at 130.04 after my ads. On one broker, I'm long at 130.04. On another, I am long at 129.97. Looking to take gains at 130.40s. Scale out position will be around there, pal. And here we go. Scaling out of half. Out of half.
Buying a swing trade here just from off of an alert that I've been waiting for a while. I'm actually going after here. Turtle Beach.
Turtle Beach were the first gaming headphones I ever purchased.
Same. I had Turtle Beach equipment when I first started too. Then I grew up.
Right. Now getting that little spike here in Starbucks. Going to start getting short some and just got a little bit there at 97.96. Looking for 98s and 98.16s really.
I think I have Astros now. I think that's what these are. I don't know. Amazon 60 cents in the money. MLTX 60 cents in the money. Unity only 30 cents in the money. But come on.
Starting to layer some shorts here, trying to get some short of Starbucks here.
Big seller in TOVX down here at 109. Would say if this can't get broken here, we'll probably stop out of this. I think this probably goes lower.
MLTX just went ahead and got all the way to 55, and then took a little bit of a smackdown. We were up about $1.50 on that trade.
Just added a little bit there in Starbucks as it starts rejecting here the 98s.
Yeah, I'm going to stop out of this OPK. I don't like the action down here. We'll see if this sets up again.
Oh, yeah. What happened to snow? I forgot.
0 for 1 today. Snow's ripping.
And
Yeah, I mean that has multiple news. It's
Yeah.
been it had an event yesterday. It's had news with Nvidia. It's had news with plenty of different stocks. That's definitely the top upside stock that I'd be watching.
yeah, I hope you guys wouldn't have caught that 185 level we called out. Unfortunately, I was too busy paying attention to other tickers, but that's okay.
That happens, my friend.
Sure does. That's all right.
Joby,
That's why I
pull
like to
back
set
to VWAP.
alerts, right? Alerts will help you not necessarily trade, but maybe at least just let you know, like, hey, you know that stock you were looking at? It's moving.
Yeah.
IRNT through the 23-cent level for you penny players out there.
All right, I got some short now. I'm going to look to start adding here even more on Starbucks. Just want a little bit of a pop back here into the 90s or towards the 98s. I can keep adding and looking for more short on Starbucks. There it starts to crack 76. Anything that pops above VWAP now, I'll start adding into the Starbucks short.
MLTX back over 55 once again. Come on, baby. And you've also got Unity looking to crack the 43s. That's in the money by $1 and then some. Let's keep chugging along. The only thing I need to get back to the 131s is going to be Amazon. We've already sold half our size for a 50-cent gain, but we want more for the other ones.
That is staying strong. So if you're looking for stocks that are strong, that looks interesting there.
Boy, MLTX just keep getting smacked every time it gets to 55.
All right, what's going on out there, chat? How we doing? Carvana's still going. Beckham mixed like Starbucks.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and sell. Yeah, cool. I'm all out. I am all out of Unity here at 43.21. We got these at the 42.03s. So we are out of Unity. Lovely gains on that one. Now you've got Amazon looking to approach the 131s, which would be the high of day. We're currently 70 cents of the money on that trade.
Snow ripping here.
I am
Buglog, what are your thoughts on Fiverr? I don't really have any on Fiverr. This is not one that I follow at all. If we take a look at the daily chart, I'm pretty sure this is kind of like a bottomed out chart. So maybe a support level here, but that's about all I got for you, Buglog. I'm sorry. Wally, what are your thoughts on Lucid? Love the car. Stock's really annoying to trade. I think it's going to be all about the deliveries here. Maybe we continue this bounce here. Nice little push through that 619 level. Again, like the car, no angle on the stock though.
You're welcome, humble ninja. You're welcome. Which one did you trade, Humble? Did you trade Unity, Amazon, or MLTX? Which one did you go with? Or all
Projecting
of them?
to get above the 363.27 level there. And I do have an ability to trade Mumu today. So looking for that.
As Unity continues to rise to the upside, I am going to look to go ahead and purchase some on the pullback on the 43. So we'd already sold out. Where do we sell our last piece? At 43.21. We're going to see if there's a pullback happening, and we'll look to grab it at $43.
All right, looking for any pullback into the 80s now to keep adding in Starbucks. It's going in my favor. I'm looking to start adding more and more here. If I can get some pullbacks. So 85 will be the first add there, and looking to add anything back up towards up here, and it's just going lower and lower here. So I'll look for any pullback here to get a little bit more short on Starbucks.
On ticker NERV, clearly $9 to me is resistance. So if we can go ahead and clear that and base to the upside, we should go and tag 10 quite possibly.
All right, going to start paying attention to the SQQQs here. Might take a Mumu trade here from the 1996.
The only way I'd get back into Snow, who asked that question? Where is it? JH is if it comes back to test the 185s at the moment. That's the only way I'm getting back in. Besides that, wait for a resistance area to kind of pop up, consolidate underneath, break, retest, enter.
All right, looking to try to get a little bit of some SQQQs here on a little bit of a pullback.
We are now red on MLTX by 10 cents, but just a heads up. As we were waiting for a big move, have not gotten it yet. We're in the money by $1.50, but we did not sell because we are greedy people.
All right, guys, order out here from Mumu at 1991 there for the SQQQs. Just got a little bit there. Going to look for a little bit lower here to add towards it, towards like 86 or 84. So let's do 86 here. Going to put the remainder that I can add. I can add another 10 there and can just level in there. Also going to look to add a little bit more towards like 83s if I can get it. So now I'm just putting in there all the sizing leveled in there. If it does pull back, it'll go ahead and fill me. So limits are out there.
You guys, I got an interesting chart set up here. This actually might work as a swing here. So IoT. So if you take a look at IoT here, this is Samsara. Got a double top here at about 30.80. Now, recently we pulled back here a little bit, but I think that this might be done. This looks like a hold and a reversal. This might be a possible trade back up towards this 31 handle. I took a little bit here. Oh, wow, it popped. I took a little at 26.27. Looking to swing this here. Nice little pop.
All right, Amazon, come on, baby. Chug on higher.
Just to recap, that's a swing long on ticker IoT for me. Oh my gosh, Joby went higher. How's ACHR doing? That's the same thing. Ooh, ACHR, this actually might go here. It went above and popped above. I was not fast enough. Darn. See, that time I remembered, but I still wasn't fast enough to actually execute the trade. 391 was the high spot. We've popped above here. Let's see if Archer keeps going.
Got a pullback bill there.
Let's go, boys. All right, I'm out of Amazon here. I sold my last piece at $130.95. Out at $130.95 on Amazon.
Jay Wild, great call on SOUN here. SOUN approaching yesterday's intraday high as well. That's an interesting spot if it breaks it down. We're already on kind of a run here, so it'll be interesting to see if we pop and move above here. 444 going to be that spot.
Just got another ad there in Starbucks, filling in there, now 200 at 97.88. Also got some more SQQQs there, guys, and continuing to add there. Now have an average at 86. So we'll look to see if that can keep going. All right, it's that type of day. We'll see what happens here, team. Now starting to get more bounce here in Starbucks, so I can look to add a little bit above the 98s. We'll see what happens there. Just trying to battle in here. All right, so my average is 86 there. Just got to make sure that I focus on where am I getting out on the SQQQs if I need to. I like hourly support to get some wicks at the 70s, but the extremes are towards the 64s.
I'm going to try some SOUN here. I don't feel great about it. I'm going to have a really tight stop. This either works or it doesn't. Stop at 438, entry at 443. 5-cent downside here.
All right, going to risk about $6 on this SQQQs for the Mumu trade here. And it's all about the percentages, right? You guys know I've been keeping a very important risk to loss return there for the Mumu account. So you guys are going to see me stop limit set there, 63s. We'll see if I do get stopped out through that, setting that up now. It's starting to bounce here towards the 80s. So we're looking good. I'm at 86 there for the SQQQs. And let's go back to Starbucks, see if we start adding more and more here on Starbucks as we come back below the VWAP. That looks good there to start hitting it a little bit more. Just hit it a little bit more, 75 more. Now at 97.87. Just building a position here on Starbucks.
Just kind of watching some of the stuff. Not as hot of a day as yesterday, at least not for me, but that's okay.
That's okay too, right?
Purchase some more MLTX at the 50. Where is this? VWAP, which was 53.14. This is a red trade for me at the moment, so I don't feel too confident in the way this is going. I'm going to have my stop loss probably at the break of 52.40s or so.
Ben, just to clarify for you, I know you asked about Starbucks puts. I don't have puts, but maybe someone in the chat also has maybe some puts on Starbucks. I just have open short at the equity 97.87. That's on the prop there. 275 shares. We'll see if this gets into the green.
Green bean.
SOUN right back up to those highs. We'll see if this ends up popping through here. Need this 445 spot to come down. There's some size there.
Caleb, love me some snow as well.
You like snow, bro?
Good Red Hot Chili Pepper
Love me
song
some
too.
snow. Oh, it's amazing. Amazing song. Matter of fact, I might do jam to that right now.
Stopped out of TOVX for right now.
I didn't know you were into that kind of snow, Zunaid.
You don't like snow?
He's talking about the music, Mitch. Calm down.
I hope he's talking about the white stuff.
Moving on, you've got snow that's that broken 190 on the resistance. I'm surprised it didn't even try to consolidate underneath and it just kind of cracked to the upside. But nonetheless, man, if you got this retest of this 185 right here, what a beauty.
All right, team. It's a battle type of day. See who's gonna take the cheese.
Listen what I say. Let's see what's going on here.
Just added a little bit more there to Starbucks short. Now 350s at 87.
Punk Snow, if you like living life on the edge, I would go ahead and set an alert to remind you at 197.50 to try and short this one at 200 just for a couple of bucks if you can get it. By the way, I did get stopped out of MLTX. What a loser. We were in the money.
All right, that's looking good there on Starbucks. I'm looking to maybe add even a little bit more here. All right, just added a little bit more. Just building up the position there. Now to 425 at 86.
SOUN. Oh, they just pulled it. It was trying. It was trying to go there. Bit of a pullback right down to entry.
All right, now
that was close,
whacked,
folks.
Starbucks. Now I'm looking for Starbucks just to get whacked here.
Ooh. And look at Amazon. Wow. So happy we sold at 131s. Let's go. The question is, do we get back in? The answer is yes. If I can go ahead and enter this ticker. Yeah, you know, we like to play around a little bit. All right, cool. I am in at
looks like nerves going. Nice call, Wiss. New highs.
130.28. I'm in on Amazon.
Man.
Stop loss will be 129.85. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just disappointed in myself. I started getting involved with other things here. We talked about this. Dan came in here and said, as long as this holds 775, it's probably going to go. And look where we are. Dan, great call. Nerve pushing highs here. Really disappointed that I missed this. Bex, you're right though. Wait for the afternoon. Afternoon has given us a lot of plays. Nice move here for whoever caught nerve. Great call, Dan. We just did exactly what you were looking for. My
goodness. Q's back to VWAP there. We'll see if the Q's take down.
We talked about the $9 retest on it. And it looks like 950 is a high a day. Would not be surprised if this hits 10. I'm going to try to get in a little bit here at 9. What was my fill? I don't know. Thinkorswim is going crazy. 936 is my fill. I'm going to look to sell at 990.
NVIDIA looks like it wants to crack here. We'll see what happens if it comes back up through the 410s and then goes higher. Micron's one to watch, right? Reports earnings today. It looks like it wants higher here. I'd keep an eye out on that one. I think some people might play that into the earnings, right? Maybe sell a little later today, but that's definitely on day trade type of stock.
Now we are a little bit in trouble as everything comes down to VWAP, which means we are loaded up on Unity, which is my average price on that is 42.96. This could be where I give up my gains, which would be so unfortunate. But nonetheless, we are in Unity. I will go ahead and talk about my stop losses and everything here in a second. Let me just place them. Stop loss for me is going to be break of 42.50s. And I'm looking to take gains at 43.40s, give or take. Not looking pretty for me, as you also have Amazon that's testing the 130s.
Sounds still strong, looking like it's trying to go here. Nerve pulling back now. Maybe we get a VWAP setup on Nerve, NERV.
Into the green there in the Moo account for the SQQQs. Looking for the Qs to go lower here, and the SQQQs to do a little bit of a takeoff through the 20s. Let's see if that happens here. Of course, you guys can check out Moo if you guys are looking to check it out. Of course, check the description below. Go ahead and get Moo. Who's using Moo out there in the chat? Let me know.
I use it when I'm checking stuff at night, like when I'm not at my computer. The app that I use is Moo. I actually enjoy it more than the Thinkorswim mobile app, and I use it for the tools, the markets tab to kind of get familiar with what's going on, and the charting on it is fantastic.
Turbo entry on Nerve. I'm out.
You're out on the Nerve. Don't you have nerve, boy?
All right, SOUN. Let's go higher here.
I am now $50 away from going from a green day to a red day. We are still in Amazon. We are still in Unity. Let's see if those cause me to be red on the day.
Looking for some downside action to come into play here. Let's see if we get it. Also can look at like Sox Ats for a type of play here off the VWAP. 1050s seems to be the play there. NVIDIA rejecting there the 410s. Now looks interesting for me to risk off that 410 if you think this is going lower today, but it's a risky type of play here. We've talked about that plenty of times, and it just hasn't worked out. Tesla is trying to hold in the 254s. How's Apple doing? Trying to recover VWAP there. Keep an eye on Apple, see if it can recover. Microsoft's a little lower there. Just keeping an eye out there, team. We'll see what happens here.
TOVX with a pretty decent buy candle here. Maybe this actually gets going on TOVX. Dave, shout out to you. You've been having patience on this from the morning. From the start, you've said that this is eventually going to go, and you've shown that with your patience. Good stuff here. TOVX might be going. SOUN approaching 450. I like that spot to possibly pop if it takes it out.
All right, let's see if this symmetrical triangle can come down here. If it goes back above 98s for Starbucks, I'll get out for a small loss. Looking for a bigger gain here. I need to keep the risk and reward small, at least the risk side, because it's a bigger position. And so that's going to be an ability here. If I do get out on Starbucks at 98, I could always get back in it. But what I don't want to see is push to 98.40s and then get like a 30-cent stop out there versus just like a 10-cent stop. Big levels here right now. The V rejects 90s and comes right back below the VWAP 97.70. Qs overall need to crack also. That's what I'm looking for. If the Qs can crack, then yeah, we can come right back down on the day. There was a 10 a.m. quick pullback here. Will it hold and come right back to the upside? 5 minutes still looks good there on the Qs. So that's one thing that I would say. 362.50 area, very important. Let's see around here, the Explore tab here saying cruise concepts. Oh man, the cruise lines continuing, Norwegian continuing, Royal continuing. See how those can keep going. Airports and air services doing well today. Joby Aviation up a decent amount, 22%. Seems like it. Social media,
Joby's
Pinterest.
having a good day.
Pinterest having a good day also. Uber, DoorDash. And then smaller names here mentioned TOVX, XPOF, IRNT, IronNet for real cheap play. ACHR, when Joby moves. Of course, I also look for Archer Aviation to maybe get a little lift there. ACHR, Open Door getting a little lift today. Maybe
Anything
Zillow.
Housing related is getting a lift today, it seems. Zillow was up too.
There you go. That's the relationships, right? We got to know those relationships. It works a lot of the times.
SOUN maybe it's on the next attempt here through 450. We'll see. Up at 450, they're printing it.
All right, you'll see the battles in the Qs here. Can they go lower? I'm looking to see if we crack the 362.50 here. Let's find out. There's 362.70s here, starting to go lower. Do I go short some other names? That's the only hard part here. I'm going to just stay to the Starbucks trade, and if I need to play some other ones, I'll play it a little later. Maybe separating some diversification here would probably be a little smarter, but I'm trying to just nail the Starbucks trade.
Oh, come on, Unity. Again, we're in Unity once again at 42.96. We already made money on this one. It went as high as 43.22, so we're about 26 cents in the money, but we're looking to sell it around 50 cents in the money, which we are not there yet.
Double bottom right around the same area there. I've been calling out this area. I'll show you guys that in just a second here, but definitely the Qs double bottom there. Let's just take a look at it here on Mumu. You can see that double bottom right around here on the 1 minute. Look at it on the 5 minute. You can see how clean that's holding in right now. This actually still looks bullish to the upside. We'll see if it makes a move above this. Of course, I'm looking for the breakdown, but just calling it how I see it, right? So you can see this sideways action here. Will we get that breakdown below the 362.50s? That's what I'm keeping an eye on. A move back above 363.80s, and this could push right back up.
Ryan, I have no idea, so I'm not going to BS you. Maybe some of the other fellas have an idea in terms of what do you think the chances of Tesla coming back to fill the gap from June 8th at 235 are?
I used to try to target that, Ryan. I tried to target that multiple times. You guys saw me actually make some calls on Tesla short and swing trades on shorts, but the truth is Tesla's just a hard call, man. It's a hard call.
I have no line on Tesla. I seem to trade that poorly every time. Gaps like to be filled. Staff Sergeant Ryan, it's great to see you here this morning.
And when I do trade it, I trade it very small. And
Same.
And like we're talking about like I think like a top position I've ever had in Tesla is like maybe like 15 shares. Just to keep that in mind, right? Like, you know, you have to know like what type of sizing you're going to get into a play like that.
Sound through 450 here. This is what we needed.
And what does that do if I go in with a small sizing?
Taking it
right?
off.
It lets you balance out. It lets you that risk move around a little bit. With Tesla, I feel like I usually have to give it like 5 points to risk off of.
Someone talked about AI. Keep an eye on resistance around this 35 area, 35.52 to be a little bit more specific. All right, Unity now below our entry point, so we are now red on that trade.
For Becca's question here, asking if I'm swinging Starbucks until after the Friday strike. And so really, I'm just going after this for the strike news, right? And this could be a sell the news after that, but I'm thinking that this actually could be a targeted stock like the other stocks got targeted, right? We saw Bud Light target. Those stocks really get lower after, of course, the kind of the pride mentions and things like that. So Starbucks here fighting news like that. I'm just thinking about it like that. I'm just going after it. There's the Qs making that move down through the 362.50s. And what does it do? It recovers really quickly. Let's see if this 5-minute candle closes below 362.50. I think that's a very important outlook to look for here. All right, Starbucks starting to cut down here, and I might even add some more.
Sal asking, just wondering if anyone is using Thinkorswim. Are you experiencing a delay in stock quotes? Sal, no, not at. I am using Thinkorswim. That trade I just executed was in Thinkorswim. Executions were fine. Quoting seems fine. My only follow-up question would be, what ticker are you looking at? I can pull that up in my broker here and see if that's doing anything. SOUN still holding after that pop here. Maybe it goes higher. Reminder, I'm out on that. We were just scalping through the high there.
All right, in from 97.85, right? And we'll see what happens here on Starbucks. Will we get the cut down in the Qs? Will we get the cut down to go lower there? The Qs trying to recover that 50 spot here already. See, it's right back up there through that 63 spot. It's going from a red to green almost here. And that's going to be kind of that stop out move that can all of a sudden just go bullish. So just be careful out there, team. We don't know which way the cues are going to go right now. They're still leaning to the bullish side in my eyes, as long as the 5-minute holds 362.63 here. We'll see what happens. There's the 80s right there showing up. Will they get back above 363s on the cues? And that's where it gets difficult. That's why I got to hold really close here on my Starbucks short. I have 475 shares now.
SOUN really strong here.
Push here. Just be careful out there, team.
Speaking of really strong, you've got NERV headed to the upside. Looking to crack 10, currently at a highs of 983, 984s, 990s on NERV. What does it do at 10 is the question, as it hits a high of 997.
All right, and Starbucks is back above the VWAP. That's not what I wanted to see there. Now starting to hold VWAP on the pullback there. Could drive higher here. Just calling it out just to be careful out there. We'll see what happens here.
Unity back headed to the upside now, currently trading at 43.27. We're in at 42.96. We're looking to sell around 43.40s. Do we get it this time or no?
Soon 460s.
Q's just took a step up there. So like I told you guys, the 5-minute candle crack there. And where did it close? It closed back to VWAP. That's how quickly you can get what? Wicked out of positions. It's a trick, those wicks. So a lot of tricks going on in the market today. Sideways action here. We'll see what happens.
Where's my perfect?
A lot of action. A lot of action.
Amazon having a little bit of trouble getting over VWAP, getting stopped out for the past 15 minutes at 130.30s. If you're long and you're scared, this is where I'd go ahead and take it out.
Oh, God.
My boy said it. Long and you're scared, get the heck out. Why you still can't.
Get on up out of there.
I don't know, man. It's one of those days where it's just still mixed. Q's coming back strong, though. I'll tell you that much. 5 minutes still has it to the upside. So if it takes out 363.50s, you could be right back up. So
And
that's where I got to be careful.
Dan, another shout out to you on Nerve. You were all in that. Quality over quantity here for you, Dan. Absolutely love it. Giving you a play here. Reminding you, take pieces as this goes up. Remember to pay yourself if you're in one of these trades, especially one of these that's fast moving, low float, whatever. Be sure to pay yourself along the way. Awesome stuff, Dan. Hope you're having a great day out there. Rando, so this is an important concept, and this is something that I struggled with too. I'm always scared, something I need to work on. You could even make the argument now that I'm probably don't have that under control, but because I take very quick gains like I did here in Soon today. But understand that the goal of this is small gains that are consistent and low risk. As far as the being scared thing, a number of stock market mentors all say the same thing. You really need to eliminate that fear of losing money before you can really start making a lot of good gains in this job. If you're driven by the fear, they call it the poor man's mentality. If you're driven by the fear of losing money and you're constantly worried about it, it's going to be that much more difficult to make it on the upside. So I'm glad that you've identified this. This is something that I think a lot of us need to work on, myself included.
Yep.
Have multiple streams of income. If you are just starting out day trading, you're wanting
Zunaid.
to
Absolutely.
pay, and you're wanting to pay the bills with it, you're gonna lose. You're gonna suck, and you're gonna think you can't make it. It's not your trading that sucks. You've got to have other streams of income, so you're not trying to take trades because you've got your T-Mobile bill to pay. By the way, went ahead and I'm going to go ahead and exit my trade here on Unity. Half size out at 43.35. But yeah, you got to have other forms of income.
Yeah. And like I always mention, first step is not make money. First step is survival. That's where I think a lot of traders get it wrong. They come into this thinking they're going to make money. That's not it.
So Dave, you mentioned this is your only stream of income. I am curious, how long have you been trading? Because when I first started trading, I worked for Mattress Firm way back when, and then I went balls deep into a trade, and I still have that position open on E-Trade, and I put in 30 grand because I thought I was the baddest dude in town.
Baddest dude
The
in
market humbled
town.
me. Yeah, look here. Matter of fact, let me show y'all.
Yeah, I think you have.
It always
right?
humbles us.
Let's
That's
see.
the unfortunate thing, right? We get humbled real quick.
Speaking of, well, nothing to do with humble, but you've got Amazon headed to the upside here, 130.67s. We got in at 130.28s. I'm going to close half my size here, out at 130.65s. Still hanging on to the half, and oh my God, my leg just fell asleep. Okay, I'll be right back. Ow.
All right, Zunaid. Your leg, baby. Shake that thing. Shake that leg. All right, guys. Almost getting stopped out on this downturn here in the SQQQs. We'll see if I get stopped out today. I already have that stop set there in Moo, and really close to getting stopped out also in Starbucks.
Jay Wild laughing at Zunaid's balls deep comment. I can't help myself. I woke up in a really good mood. Laughter is absolutely the medicine this morning, and I am full of it.
Yep. Can't be wrong with that, man. And I can't blame you for that. Laughter
and by the way, folks, I took a very, very small starter. I talked about this at the onset here. Oh, my charts just got effed. Let me fix it. Oh my God. I talked about this at the outset, EYPT, and it's the relationship with Regeneron. I actually bought some. I took a starter position, very small, just 100 shares at 762. Didn't realize until now we've actually popped here pretty good. So EYPT up here. I am long. I took a starter. It's kind of running away from me. We'll see where this ends up going, but took a starter there on EYPT. Also, as I mentioned, in terms of swing trades here, these are not day trades. Took IoT as well here. IoT got a really, really awesome daily formation. I like this to trade back up to 30. Those are my two swings open today. EYPT continuing higher here. Don't chase this move. Wait for this to come back in. It's thin. But look at this chart too. Oh, man, let's go.
Becca, you knew exactly what you're doing with that comment. I usually slap my leg whenever it starts doing that. But nonetheless, I know I've shared this before, so I'm going to go to share it again for the folks that might be joining us for the first time. But here's when here's the first day. So I had quit my job at Mattress Firm at the end of November. Then there was the weekend, and I said, yeah, I'm going to be a day trader. Bought CDTI for 30,000 shares. You obviously only see 18 because I sold some at a loss because I wanted the cash flow. And I'm still down 13,000, and it's been 5 years. Still holding on to this puppy. But yeah, this is why you don't want to be
hold on to me.
So I've written this off in my head. This money doesn't exist, but just wanted to show you all.
That's how it is sometimes, team. It's how it is, and I think that one thing that you need to do is I've established that new traders need to not think about making money, just surviving. Just literally every day think like, I can't lose money at first.
Yeah.
And so what does that mean? Risk to reward. Even if you break even, you're doing well. What you're doing bad is if you're losing, right? And so focusing on just break even and slight green at first, then you'll start looking like you'll get into kind of more of that, okay, now I'm a break even style trader. Now I want to try to get towards that profit. And then after that profit, it's going into the thriving stage that I think really matters. That's where you separate yourself. That's when you can say, okay, now I'm in that thriving stage of trading. You can see on your equity curve, it continuously goes up. It's not like a roller coaster ride down and then a roller coaster ride back up. That's not what we want to be seeing in our equity curve, because that just shows too much volatility in how we're trading. So we want to be seeing that consistent. There could be ups and downs. And I talk about this with my small account all the time, right? So like I can show you guys here on Moo, right? So you see how this equity curve takes downturns, right? But we keep riding higher. That's what you want to be seeing. If that's what's going on, yeah, you can keep pushing. But if that's not what's going on in the equity curve and you're seeing roller coasters from like all the way up here, go all the way back down here, well, that's not what we want to be seeing in our equity curve.
This comment's funny. Zunaid considering CDTI. Man, listen. I'm just pissed that none of the FinTwit folks went ahead and pumped this one so I could go ahead and get out. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had 30,000 shares that I purchased right here at this green arrow. I was sitting on a loss. Then when it finally someone pumped it, I went ahead and got rid of 22,000 somewhere here, hoping it would continue on a run and I'd be rich. And then now it's right back up. But, you know, if we could go ahead and break this downtrend, you know, let's try to do some technical analysis. Yeah. We're so close. We're so close to breaking this downtrend. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, Zunaid, now that you drew that trend line, this is going to the moon.
I'm telling you, folks, set an alert. If it breaks 50, we're going to the moon.
At least Zunaid might be going to the moon because
we're going to the moon.
He's going somewhere at least.
50. If we get 50, we're going to the moon.
My problem in trading is patience. With swing trades, it costs me money and my picks are great, but I get impatient. It happens to me again with BAOS, sold it around 650s. It hit 10 this morning. Well, my biggest thing with that more is how do you establish your reward targets, right? Is that just a selection that you're doing off of charts? Is that based on risk and return? There's a lot of questions that I need to ask there to kind of work on what we could maybe do to build some tools to kind of work in our patience, right? Work to our favor. That's what we need to be thinking about more is like, what can we do? What are the variables that we as traders can control to have more patience? And this is the reason why I actually do well in swing trades, because a lot of times I can just stay in trades and just let them work. But it's not easy too. The biggest thing that I like to do is try to find a share size that your heart doesn't feel like it's racing. You know what I mean? And that's what I think I have found. I found the share size and the market value size that when I take these trades, I don't feel like my heart's racing. Like Starbucks right now, my heart's racing. I'll tell you that right now. But the other positions, like my swings, I don't even front the cues moving up and down right now. And so I think that that's the important part, trying to find things like that.
Fun times. It is interesting though, because I have still $7,000 of value in that CDTI. In my head, I'm asking like, bro, why don't you just sell it and use that money somewhere else, right? In terms of opportunity cost. But then it's my heart couldn't take it if it does get back to $1 and I could recoup 20 grand. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man. I don't know, man. Maybe you got to go working for that company. Call them up, man. Tell them, yeah, I'm ready to work, man.
CDTI, like, hey. I believe, is a water play that, you know, here's the thing. Like, do you really want to take that? Do you really want to book that loss? I mean,
if I were to do it, I would probably do it towards the end of the year for tax reasons.
Yeah, tax loss harvesting. That, I mean, here's the thing, though. I believe CDTI is a water play, and with some of the water issues out west, there might still be something in that. Now, I don't know if you get your money back, but I'm with you, Zunaid. I mean, like for example, this happened to me in Chara. I have Chara.
Yeah.
Chara had all kinds of fraud. The management company, there was whistleblowers. It was really, really terrible. I'm down 22 grand on that right now. Damn. So, I mean, that's how it goes sometimes. And I'm at this point, I'm not selling it because it's going to get bought out. I'm going to wait for them to give me my money when they take my shares, and then we're going to sue them.
Yeah, exactly. Rando, I already sold half. I had 30,000 shares. I had 30 grand in it, and I sold half of it at a loss when it popped right back up. I was like, yeah, I'm getting higher and out of there. But yes, coming back to real stocks that we can go to make money on. Unity coming right back up as well. We'll see how many shares I've got left on that puppy as it makes high a day here at 43.87.
And I just got hit on Moo, just to let you guys know, out of the SQQQ.
I was like, what do you mean? You got hacked? Yes. Do we sell here? I don't want to sell. Let's see what the spy's doing. Let's see what the spy's doing. Spy's still trying to make it. What are the Qs doing? Q's high a day. I think we were okay.
Yeah, the Qs.
Do we see resistance? Man. Yes, we do. Nah, bump that. I'm out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and flatten this trade at 43.85 out of Unity at 43.85, and now we focus
go,
our
man.
attention to Amazon. Thank you, sir. Amazon
into the
approaching
green.
the 131s. Yes, sir. Now the question is,
Can I keep it?
yeah, am I gonna sell it or not? So here's my two thought process. As a matter of fact, chat,
Yeah,
y'all can
man.
help me decide. Option one, sell it here, wait for the break of 131, and then go ahead and get back in real quick. Let's go ahead and check out Airbnb, as you did go ahead and have the 133 options coming in, expiring this week. So we are going to be focused in on Airbnb. I'm going to go over to my broker here, Airbnb, see if we can purchase a couple of shares. That's way too high of a price. I'm not doing that. I'm looking to purchase Airbnb at 130s if I can go ahead and get it. Coming back to Amazon. So it's two options for me. Option one, sell here, wait for the crack of 131 to the upside, buy it on the retest, have my stop losses set. Option two, just say, you know what, I'm going to sit here with these shares. If I get back to break even, I'll sell it. What do you think I should do, chat? Let me know how I should run my life, please. By the way, let me provide you more information on that Airbnb because I just blew through that one. Airbnb 133 calls expiring this week, approximately $100,000 worth.
I'm just staying in these Starbucks for like kind of the risk and return now. It's going to be about, I would say about like $60 risk. But if it went into my favor, it'd be like maybe like a $400 winner. So as long as that risk to return is calculated, I'm going to take my shot today. My shot's on Starbucks to the downside here, out at 98.01s. We've already gone through that 98 level once. Wouldn't want to see it get back through that.
Oh yeah, I'm loving this Airbnb. How much is it? Oh, we could risk this. Oh, we about to mess up. Airbnb 230630 calls for the 133. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab one for the culture. Here we go.
For the culture.
I am in at 79
What does that mean?
cents. I have no idea. I heard my niece say it, so you know. I thought it was a cool thing to say. I don't know.
All right.
In it for the culture? All right.
I mean, hey, he answered the question.
What's the
Props,
culture?
Zunaid. Real quick, Jay Rice saying, Bud, they'll be giving away free beer for 4th of July. That's okay. I'm good. I don't need it. You can keep it. They can keep it. Whoever has it, just keep it.
Well, can they say that about Starbucks?
Yeah, you can keep your Starbucks too. I don't drink Starbucks coffee.
Yeah,
All right,
same here. But I do like their little lollipop candy thingy majiggy. Those are nice. But besides that,
What are they, $4 a piece?
It's hard for me to sell a chart like this. I know EKS is like, yo, but just get out then maybe. And I can't blame you for that outlook. A little part of me is just fighting it here, guys. So look at this setup, right? I mean, the setup's there for the flush down. I don't know if maybe we can get you guys' outlook on that, but to me, that setup is there. MACD is not too bad either. It's just more along, is it going to crack down here towards the 97.50s or 98 move up?
all right.
See
Since
what
the chat
happens.
didn't want to tell me what I should do with my life, I went ahead and sold Amazon at 130.92. My focus is now on Airbnb, as that one's moving higher, and the contract, not contracts, but the contract that I purchased at 79 cents is now worth 97 cents. So let's go YOLO to the moon as Airbnb continues its march higher.
Shout out to Shah in the chat saying that this is by far the best live trading show that I've seen now, and I've been watching for a while. So much great content, and that's what it's all about, guys. And that's why we have multiple personalities, multiple styles of traders here. And what we always try to do, guys, is teach a process, right? There's too many out there that are telling you that they have the solution. Are we telling you that we have the solution? Hell no. If we had the solution, we'd be making that money, baby.
Here's a secret regarding the solution, Mitch.
Yeah.
Every one of you has the solution. The question is, did you figure it out? There's no way Mitch can tell you what the solution is for you. There's no way I can tell you that. There's no way Zunaid can tell you that. You're going to have to discover that. And the process of discovering that is what we are trying to help out with here. Shah, I really appreciate that comment. That means a lot to us.
Yeah.
If you agree with Shah or like Shah's comment, go ahead and hit those likes, smash it up, folks. And by the way, Mitch, I do want to answer a question here because in addition to process, we do answer questions here. So where was that? Let me find that. I had it here, but anyone know, the Ghost is asking, anyone know the most recent short interest on Beyond Meat? As a matter of fact, I do. So here you go. If you pull up Beyond Meat in your Benzinga Pro, remember it's got everything. The short interest tab and details will give that to you as of today, folks. As of today, 42.22% of Beyond Meat's float is shorted. 9.9 days to cover. This is actually down slightly from above 10. I'll tell you what, this has squeeze potential, folks. This has squeeze potential. I am not a believer or buyer of the fake chemical meat, but if I am a buyer of making money, and if this thing starts to squeeze, this might be a potential candidate. So the Ghost, here is the answer to your question. 42.22% of the float shorted, 9.9 days to cover. Great question.
Looks like I'm about to get stopped out here in Starbucks as it just rejected the rule of 3 for a downside break at the 97.88 here. Probably going to get stopped out in just a second here, guys. I'll let you guys know as I get hit here.
Something to just kind of keep in mind going back to this. And by the way, you've got the Airbnb trade. Now those contracts are going for about 110. So that's like $40 per contract. But Dave here, lost about $8,000. Moving on with his day in his life. He talked earlier about the financial setting that he has, so he's comfortable losing this type of money. If I lost that type of money, I would need some Charmin because I'd be scared to death. All right, I couldn't deal with that.
But Zunaid, what you're illustrating right now is a really, really important point, because losing $8,000 might be like losing $80 to Dave. We don't know, and it's going to be different for every single member that trades and every single member in this chat. So it's going to be important that you figure out what those tolerances are. This is part of the process that Mitch talks about. Zunaid, this is when you talk about stopping out or how much stuff you buy, that's you doing that. You make it so that the small losses don't knock you out of the game. And as you grow your balance, those small losses are going to grow in terms of its raw number, but as a percentage of your account should remain very small.
Exactly. And the reason I bring this up is because, obviously on FinSwit, more so a couple of years ago and last year than this year, you still see gains of like, oh, I made this much money. I made that much money. One, Lord knows if they're real or not. Two, who knows what their account size is? Who knows if they had, trust fund babies and they could just kind of blow that type of stuff. Man, you're competing against yourself. That's all it is. But nonetheless, though, keeping an eye on, what is this, crude oil, as we had this range marked out, remember, and now it just hit the 68.50s and it's kind of having a little bit of issue getting above it. So that could do two things. I could short it here with a stop loss of 50 cents above, assuming that this would act as resistance, or I can go ahead and wait for it to pop and get it on the retest. I am going to wait and grab it on the retest if I possibly can, but just wanted to point that out. As Airbnb still continues to march higher, let's go and check out Unity as that puppy makes a new high a day at 44. As I do believe we said yesterday when it was around $40, you had the $45 calls coming in. I didn't buy the options, but I let the options dictate if I was going to get into this trade or not. And you also have Amazon looking to make new high a day if it can go ahead and break this 131.20s. And there is MLTX heading to the downside as it goes ahead and tests $50. Are we going to find buyers? I do not know. I don't think I will be one of them, but boy, am I tempted. I really want to. I shouldn't. Maybe. No, we're not going to do it. What did Walter say?
Stopped out there in Starbucks there. Stopped out, guys. Just hit it by 1 penny. So could have got stop hunted there off the 98.01s. But I'm out there. Took a little bit of a hit today. And that's just the way it goes, man. That's just
sorry to hear that, Walter. Hope you and your family are able to share memorable stories of her and celebrate her life.
We'll be here when you get back, Walter. Sorry for your loss, my man.
All right, Q's going higher here. Looks like we are grinding back to the upside, and looks like the washout this morning might have been a little bit of a gift. And that's just how volatile the markets have been lately. Up, down moves, and let's just be honest. Even if you're having swing trades on certain plays like NVIDIA, you're definitely feeling that movement. There's mad volatility lately. Got to be careful out there, team, and protect yourself like always.
You've got the Qs, as Mitch mentioned, heading to the upside. If we go ahead and look left, you can see that we've had resistance. Boy, everything is just crossing. I'm going to pay attention to that here in a minute. You had resistance once, twice, 3 times. Couldn't even touch it. Now you get a pop. I am not chasing this. I am going to wait if I were to try to get in and we'll see if we can get a pullback to the 365. and then go ahead and grab this one with a stop loss of maybe 50 cents to the downside. But nonetheless, cues to the upside, which helps Amazon make high a day right there. We unfortunately don't have any shares left, so no profits being made on my end. And of course, you have Unity that went ahead and popped to the upside as well. MLTX, those $50 purchases, I did not have any, but those are looking to possibly make a move to the upside. Back over to 52, perhaps. I would sell if I was in this at around 51.63. And now you do have oil that is looking to break above this level. Continues to knock its head up there, but hasn't quite gone just above yet. SPCE, I could take a look at SPCE for you.
While you're doing that real quick, Beach Bum, enjoy your travel, man. Hopefully, it's always nice to get away. We'll be here when you get back. Enjoy and be safe.
All right, we'll see what happens to the Qs later in the day. You might get some action there. We'll find out. Starbucks is going to keep watching it all day. Missed the opening short there and then came after a little bit later in the day. And that's just how it goes sometimes, man. This market is not letting you catch the pullbacks. It's more along letting you catch the quick moves. And then catching the quick moves is definitely difficult.
What was I about to talk about? I forgot. Oh, SPCE, man. I wouldn't get in this trade unless we broke over 5. If we break over 5, then I'm loading up. And here we go. The oil key. By the way, I realize my alerts or noise are still on. So let me turn that off. My apologies. All right, there we go. We blasted off. What a nice green candle. We'll see how it if it bases around here, has a retest, then I'd be interested. But for now, we're going to go ahead and let this play out. I typically don't like to get in when we have this type of green candle. I'd kind of like to have a little bit of consolidation, let the fighters come on out with buyers and sellers, and then maybe try to get in. But some people love it, though. They're like, oh, cool, it's a strong candle. Obviously, an increase in volume here at 10:30. They want to get in right then and there. Wonder if that is some news, though, as that one did come in right at 10:30. Or maybe not right at 10:30. Let's go to the minute. Nope, I lied. Definitely at 10:30. Look at that. Airbnb taking a little bit of a breather here at the 131.12s. Again, we are in the, what is this contract? Hang on. 133 calls. We paid about 75 cents or something. Let me check. What did we pay? Paid 79 cents. Does Nick Shaheen have a show on here still? No, he has not been with us for almost 7 months now. In terms of the show. Dude's still kicking ass for Benzinga with his trade outlooks and everything else. I don't want to.
All right, guys, call me a degenerate, but I'm taking another trade here in Starbucks. Got in there at 97.98, taking another 10-cent risk here. To see
Mitch, you degenerate.
Right.
Yeah, terrible.
I can't help myself. I can't help myself.
Well, I mean, you literally asked me to call you a degenerate, so I figured I would do it.
Thank you. That 98 level strong. Hell yeah, Ben.
Taking a look at Starbucks, if I was going to short this one, I would definitely see if I could break that 97.50. As you can see, look left, you've got support, held on a support there. If it breaks that 97.50, it could be a movie.
Just got to keep it tight. Keep it tight, man. We'll see if the Q's reverse on the day. Q's slowing down a little bit here in the momentum, at least.
Listen what I say.
Oh.
I still have snow jamming in my ear for the past 30 minutes, by the way, Ryan.
It's
on repeat.
You just play the same song on repeat, okay?
I'm a psycho like that, yeah. It's one of the reasons you don't want to be on a road trip with me. I'll blast the same music the whole time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had a flight. Almost every flight I take, I listen to the same song on the drive to the airport, through security, on the flight, and in my Uber to my hotel.
You literally listen to one song just over and over?
Literally one song.
I'll be honest, Zunaid, there's a lot of weird stuff that you said, but that one takes the cake. I gotta say that's probably the most odd thing that you have confessed here. And that includes the stealing from when you were younger. So
alleged
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Hypothetically,
Excuse
I don't
me.
know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how to get out of that one.
I don't know
common
about
with
this one,
serial
guys.
Killers? Is it really?
That's common with serial killers.
What does it
Crow.
say?
Crow.
about
No
me
chill
if I
today.
listen
Crow,
to
no
the
chill.
same song for 3 hours?
Ryan, do we need to hide our address from Zunaid?
I mean, I'm already changing the locks.
Guys,
knows
if you're
what
in
Zunaid's
Atlanta,
been
be
doing.
careful out there. I think he's in Atlanta somewhere.
No, we gotta stop, Joe. we gotta stop that.
The song you're listening to might be getting you through a tough time or even helping you get in touch with what you're feeling.
It's a sign
I
of
guess that's
genius,
fair.
bro. It's a sign of genius. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
why can't it be a genius? Why do I have to kill somebody? By the way, the $50 move on MLTX, or $50 purchase would have given you a nice little point here as it did go and bounce up.
All right, guys. I'm in the green a decent amount here, so I'm thinking I'm going to take a little bit off here just to pay myself in Starbucks. I mean, I could just keep coming after it. It's looking pretty good here, but one of the things is we did take a little bit of a hit here, so I'm going to take a little bit off here and just pay myself a little bit. If I can get a little bit more crack here.
Becca, yes, my exes did not like that I play the song on repeat.
Who would have thought?
I know.
Who would
right?
have thought that one?
I can't
man?
believe people are this restrictive of someone else's joy.
No one restricted you. You're just offered an opinion. Literally nobody restricted you. In fact, you still do it, so you're not being restricted.
And I am not
LOL.
with her. Can you imagine? Why'd y'all break up? She stopped me from listening to music on repeat. I just couldn't handle it. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Wasn't my thing, you know?
What I do is I have a playlist. Like I have a playlist of my main music, probably 100 songs that I just like to listen to at any time. I have a playlist for Eric Clapton. I have a playlist for working out. I have a EDM playlist. So I hit playlists and I just jam on the plane. Do they let you wear your earbuds through security? I always put that stuff in the bins.
I've never been stopped. It's like AirPods.
Okay. Yeah. The buds.
If it was attached to my phone, to be like, yo, buddy, put your phone away. You know what I mean? I'm not kidding. It's still playing.
I'm not kidding, guys. I don't know why you guys think I'm kidding.
I just realized because it replayed once again in my head. Right there. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
There you go. The Chili's. Got to see them live twice. I want to see them live one more
I
time.
bet that's
have not.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Got to see them one more time at least.
Guys, one thing to keep in mind here, we talked about Nerve early, missed the really big move. It is consolidating above the VWAP here, so I would say this is definitely another one to add to your watch list for the rest of the day, as this might end up going at some point. Really would be looking for a volume flow into this like we saw earlier, but Nerve, definitely keep this on your watch list.
Dude, the Qs just want to keep going, so I got to take some profit here.
Look at Redfin. RD, ticker RDFN. Anything in the housing sector been really, really hot. There were sweeps on Redfin earlier too.
Took half of it off there. Had to pay myself a little bit here, guys. So at least just controlling the damage. Starbucks making a little bit of a down move here to the 75s. But at this point, what could I do? Break even on the rest and look for the big win. So I'm going to look for the bigger win, which is a move down back towards like kind of 97.50s, 97. So we'll see what happens there if it can really start coming down. So I still got 250 shares from 97.98, but I took 250 of it off just to pay myself.
All right, I'm going to go and head out and get ready for the interview that we've got coming up in about 7 minutes. But yeah, nice little trading session. Hopefully y'all learned a few things, laughed along with us, but I'll be back in a few minutes. See ya. Is today Wednesday or Thursday? It's Wednesday. All right. See ya tomorrow.
All right. Zunaid's getting out of here. All right. Just give me 1 second, Ryan. Just hold it down for 1 second here.
Yep, I got you. Sorry, I'm just looking over some stuff here. Well, it's just us, folks. Hopefully you all are having a good day. ACHR highs still. I'm not seeing any good setups here. Who is mentioning TOVX? Is that possibly setting up again? No, TOVX just really, really slow. Shah's asking me, what's my favorite setup? My favorite setup is probably a floating island. Let me show you an example of one here. Breeze, BRZE. My favorite setups are going to be ones that are good for a swing. So this is going to be the floating island. Let's turn the VWAP off. Floating island has some type of event that pops the stack above the current range, as you see here. This is your island. By the way, this is a trade I only use to the upside. I do not consider pops down floating islands. So this is an upside trade. But what I really like to see here in one of these is when it pops to the high, when it comes back in and holds, it often moves back to the high. Now here on Breeze, it actually looks like it's breaking off the top of this on the second attempt. But notice that when this came back in, we still didn't take out the bottom of the stick. So this is probably, and one of the reasons this is one of my favorite setups is because this normally resolves higher. I wouldn't be shocked if this traded up to 50 here, about 8 more points from where we're at if this continues. But really what I would have liked to have done is add this around the 40 level. We'd already be up almost 3 points on that. So floating island, long side setup, do it from the daily chart. This is probably my favorite setup. Good question, though. Yeah, Ghost. So if you wanted to do that, right? So if you break, that's up to you. That depends on your risk profile. I normally don't. CNTG, by the way, popping to highs here. I normally don't. I normally don't take a lot of shorts. But you're right. If this broke down and then broke through the bottom of the floating island, perhaps you could look for a short on a gap fill. Beck's asking about the engulfing candle. So here, let me make this a little bit more clear. This right here in the purple, this is the floating island. Okay, so this is what this formation or setup is named after. This is the floating island. Now, the big thing here is that there has to be some event like earnings, conference, some piece of news that pops this into this island. Notice how this island is above the previous range. We have to go all the way back to September of last year when this stock was in this range. So when we break into this here, what I like to see is I like to see a pullback, right? This first day, it went all the way up to the highs, pulled back, and then and held. It didn't break down and go back into this range. It held, and then it started to grind back up. But it didn't break the top here. It came back in, but yet again, it held this floating island formation. It did not break down again. And now you're seeing a big move back up towards the top. And in this case, we actually briefly broke out of this area, this floating island area in the purple. We haven't closed above it, so that'll be key here to see if this runs for a few more days. But let me know if that's more clear.
All right, now look to see if Starbucks can keep rejecting the VWAP and not get back above that and just really flush down. That's what I'm going to be looking for in Starbucks. I did throw up the chat, the link there if you guys want to check out Hyliion interview. Of course, we just put that out there on Pre-Market Prep, so I did a great interview. If you guys haven't taken a look at that, I would definitely tell you guys to check it out. Did you trade Wayfair? You bought it up on the nice 6-day run. No, I have not traded Wayfair. Wayfair is a pretty good run as of late, and we can take a look at the daily chart. Of course, this one's not looking too bad as things started to turn around, right? And I think that that's the important thing. Look for moves like this that have really started to take off here. And of course, this is also turnaround in a lot of tech names, not looking too bad. And this still can go, right? We are going to get towards a resistance eventually around like kind of like the 72 levels and 76 range. That's where I'd be a little bit careful as you get there towards 74s. I think you could run into some resistance, but that doesn't mean that we can't bust through that and eventually start making our way back here towards 106. So, I mean, Wayfair was all the way up there to almost 369. So it's made a massive pullback. We'll see if it really starts to get going in the favor. I know that consumers really like Wayfair. I know I've used Wayfair before. I know a lot of people have. So I don't see this like a stock that doesn't have a long-term potential. So I would definitely keep your eyes on it. No VWAP training today, James. I'm sorry, guys, man. The live trading is taking a little bit too much of the educational time. So I'm going to try to do my best to start cutting the live trading a little bit earlier so that I can get to some education for you guys. Maybe just slowing it down at like 10:30 so that I could give you guys kind of more of that VWAP talk. I did want to talk about that today. I do have the educational material, but you guys know how it is. This is live trading. I'm here trying to make that money. So you know how that goes sometimes. It sometimes takes the forefront. But I promise I'll be getting to that education side.
Well, one more thing here real quick. Ron is asking, Ron, longtime viewer of live trading, do you think APPL will hit 180? Now, here's the thing. Ron did go correct that and said, oops, I mean 190. But unfortunately, I have to do this to you, Ron, because I work for Benzinga. And if I didn't do this and Jason found out, Jason would be incredibly disappointed at me. Apple's ticker is AAPL. It is not APPL. This, I would say the two things that annoy Jason the most are mistyping Apple's ticker as APPL and not giving Buffett the two T's at the end of his name. Those are the two things that Jason will call you or anyone else out on if he ever hears it. And I feel like because I work for the company that he owns, I have to do the same thing. However, to take your question seriously and ask it, let's take a look at the Apple chart. TLDR on, yes, I absolutely. We're only 67 cents away from 190 here. In fact, I wouldn't even, I mean, look at this run on Apple. I mean, at some point, this is going to pull back. This is a great company, probably the best company in the world. I have been a long-term holder of this. I still have some pre-split, got more of it, the whole 9 yards. I think that this could probably go to 200, maybe not on this exact move here, but 190 run, I think that that's probably a lock. Maybe not today, but I think it probably does test that here.
Yeah, I definitely haven't been a believer in Apple, and I've paid the price for it. We'll see what happens, team. It's about 10:56. We'll bring on Zunaid back. We'll get you guys over to a great interview coming up. So stick around, team. Like always, we got a lot more for you right here on Benzinga. You don't got to go anywhere to get all the action and the latest technology and, of course, investment trends right here on Benzinga.
Look at CNTG.
CNTG. Let's go.
By the way, if you did go ahead and get into those Airbnb options plays that we called out at 79 cents, they're now going for about 125 on the ask. So feel free to do what you want with your money. If this goes red, don't go crying to your mama. I don't want to get a phone call. Trade your own plan.
And by the way, XX here, EKS, Apple cannot grow with a $2 trillion market cap. A lot of truth to this. The law of large numbers is absolutely going to come into play here at some point. I believe Apple is almost 3 trillion now, isn't it? Did we cross 3 trillion?
I don't think we crossed it yet. Have we? I don't think we have.
No, 2.958 as of today's opening price. Yeah. So maybe we did here in intraday. But man, there's a lot of truth to this, X. But you know what? It hasn't been the case so far.
And keep in mind, we're now entering the world of AI, right? And we'll get an interview going here with Mr. Jackman in about a couple of minutes. Just give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready, sir. And then we will go ahead and get the show going. Appreciate that. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how AI, the Vision Pro, all of that comes into play. And that's what people said when they hit 1 trillion. That's what people said when they hit 2 trillion. And here we are playing knock jokes on 3 trillion, excuse me. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's definitely, to me, a big bubble that I think at the long run, it might go poof. But the truth is, bubbles can get bigger. We'll see what happens there. Ryan, Zunaid, and I on live trading with Benzinga. We'll always keep battling with you guys out there and show you guys our processed approach. Have a good one, team. We'll see you guys a little bit later. Now Zunaid will be sticking around and giving you guys a great opportunity. Like always, like we say, we bring you guys the latest in technology and the latest investment trends. Let's get to it and have a good one, Ryan. It's always good to have you, my friend. All right, I'm hopping out. You have a good one, Zunaid. and take control.
Appreciate you, pal. Appreciate you hanging out with us, and we appreciate you in the chat for continuing to hang out with us here today. We always tell you that we love to hear from executives themselves in terms of what's going on with their company, and we've got a great interview coming up right now, so make sure you stick around, ask your questions in the chat. We've got Stefan Jackman, who is the CEO of Alzamed Neuro. Ticker on NASDAQ is ALZN. Let's go ahead and bring him up. How's it going, sir?
Hey, I'm excellent. How are you today?
I'm doing well. We appreciate you for joining us, especially because you had some lovely news last week that we definitely want to cover. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, for the folks that might not be familiar, if you'd explain it to me like I'm five, what is it that your company does?
So we're a clinical stage biotech company focusing on treatments and cures for Alzheimer's disease, bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, and PTSD. So we're a drug development company.
Yeah, and Alzheimer's, I know some of the viewers we've talked about in the past in different interviews, it's kind of hits home for them. So let's kind of dive a little bit into that. How far along are you in your studies and different things like that when it comes to finding a cure or finding something to help with Alzheimer's? Where are we at right now?
So we have two potential treatments for Alzheimer's. We just completed our phase 2A, for our lead therapeutic drug candidate, which is a lithium, basically a next generation lithium. The greatest thing about that product is that last week we came up with news that was pretty much the best thing ever. We've just topped the gold standard, which is fantastic. Lithium has been approved by the FDA since the 1970s for bipolar disorder, and it's used off-label for major depressive disorder and PTSD. There's been over 500 human clinical trials in lithium and over 5,000 publications. So basically, lithium is well documented and well characterized. So we know everything about lithium. It's the gold standard. It's considered the first line treatment. However, there's been studies in phase 2 that's been conducted that showed lithium was efficacious, basically effective at reducing plaque buildup within the brain and helping with associative learning and cognition. So it's regularly prescribed at 300 milligrams. We just came up with a dosage that is 240 milligrams is effective, much safer dosage. So we're extremely excited about it. I mean, basically, that's why I got into biotech. I've spent almost 8 years at Big Pharma, and so I wanted to get in from the ground up and, really kind of drive effective treatments and bring something that's kind of like next level, next generation. And this is going to be, massive and very impactful, because when we talk about Alzheimer's, we talk about a little bit over 6 million people. You're talking about bipolar disorder, there's a little bit over 11 million people. Major depressive disorder is 21 million people. And that's just in the United States alone in PTSD. So it's great. But we also have a secondary drug that's just for Alzheimer's alone. And that's for basically it's an immunotherapeutic vaccine that seeks to restore the patient's immune system. As we get older, immune system weakens. We need something that'll help to elevate that and bring it back up to, basically like if you're in your 20s, for lack of a better, analogy.
Yeah.
So, so this is the immunotherapeutic vaccine that pretty much, use your own immune system to pretty much get rid of the plaques within the brain and the body. And we see this as a potential full-on cure for Alzheimer's, or a prophylactic for those people, who are prone with the APOE4 gene. So very good.
Yeah. Now, just so I can understand correctly, right? Because again, I'm not in this field, so I'd love to know. The way that I've kind of seen it is, hey, you can have medicine that can do one of three things at the very least. One, go ahead and restore memory that you may have lost. 2, slow down the memory that you're going to lose. Or 3, just make sure that, hey, not just a slowdown, but it's not going to happen and it completely stops from kind of deteriorating a little bit more. Which ones are you kind of focused on? Or is there something else I'm missing here in terms of the picture with either of the drugs?
We're focused on all three. And that's the greatest thing. When you talk about lithium, and I mentioned 500 clinical trials in humans that have been conducted already, it shows that it's very efficacious in doing all three. We just have to now continue and go through the motions of getting the drug through the clinic. Of course, the FDA is not going to let you stop at a phase 2. You have to go all the way out to a phase 3, so we're in it for the long haul, basically. And that's for the lithium product. And now, as I mentioned with the immunotherapeutic vaccine, that of itself is a full-on reversal and a cure for Alzheimer's. So, and the good thing about that is that, we've just seen, two drugs that have been approved. They're monoclonal antibody. And the problem with monoclonal antibodies is that they're a one size fit all. They all have basically what you call a primer that tells your immune system what to do. The problem with that is that, you can take it,
Yeah.
you'll be perfectly fine over 18 months. Now, I can take it and I can hemorrhage in the brain and die. Now, as a caregiver myself, you have to ask yourself, am I going to give it to my loved one? It's a
Yeah.
big problem. Our vaccine is more patient specific. Because it's more patient specific, you avoid any kind of side effects because you're treating yourself with your own blood. So I take your blood from your body, spin out the white blood cells, pulse it with our mutant peptide, and create a vaccine tailored to you that goes right back to you. And
Interesting.
so
I'm trying to yeah.
and,
Good.
and so usually you do a phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 when you do drug development. For this drug, we're doing a phase 1/2A. Phase 1 is usually safety. Phase 2, that's when you get into your efficacy.
Yeah.
Because this is patient specific, we're allowed to do a combined phase 1, phase 2, because we'll get to know really quickly if this drug is not only safe, if it's effective. Because, of course, as patients with Alzheimer's, you have to put it in patients with Alzheimer's.
Absolutely.
We're very happy about that. And for our first drug, the news that we came up with last week for the lithium, we just finished a phase 2A
Phase 2, right?
in healthy normals as well as patients with Alzheimer's. So we showed that the drug was, extremely safe. So we've de-risked significantly this drug and unlocked the value of it. So it's fantastic. So, and now what that allows us to do is move forward into later stage phase 2 clinical trials for efficacy with Alzheimer's. Now we can also submit INDs and move forward for the indication of bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, and PTSD. Now you have to ask yourself, do you think the product is going to work in patients with Alzheimer's? Oh, sorry. Nope. Let me reverse that. Do you think it's going to work in patients with bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, and PTSD?
Yeah.
It's currently prescribed for.
Right. And I know you mentioned the lithium earlier, and I have a chat member who wanted to ask this question. If you're able to answer, that'd be great. How is a lithium monitor? Is it the same PK of classic drug?
So technically, yes. So lithium is, you have to have your blood monitored, looking for for basically the toxicity within, the system. So it's basically a blood monitoring, and, it affects the renal glands. Now we've pretty much came up with a dosage range at 240 as opposed to 300, so 20% less. That will not require that. And basically the safety profile of our product was benign. It was well tolerated, in patients.
Let's talk about the future. I know you mentioned that with the initial drug that we talked about, the first one, you just got done with the phase 2A. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you just got done with that. What is next? What is a timeline? Because we talked about the past, we talked about what you're doing now. Let's talk about the future. What does a timeline look like in terms of what investors and potential investors can expect from y'all, whether that's from the FDA clearances, more, announcements, different things like that, anything obviously that is already public? What can we expect?
So in 2023, you'll see 3 INDs that we'll be submitting to the FDA for bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, and PTSD. So we want to go after the low-hanging fruit. Now that we've gotten the maximum tolerated dose for our product at a dosage level that will not require therapeutic drug monitoring, now we can go after the low-hanging fruit into phase 2 clinical trials. So we're looking to submit the INDs for bipolar, major depressive disorder, and PTSD. As we move into 2024, we will see top-line results from our vaccine, which is a combined phase 1, phase 2, and we'll also be moving into efficacy studies for lithium drug, which is in patients with Alzheimer's. And if you were to look up clinicaltrials.gov or PubMed, you'll already see that lithium is very efficacious and beneficial in patients with Alzheimer's. So it's really good. And so when you talk about the 3 biomarkers or the criteria, whether it slows it down, it improves cognition, helps with irritability, associative learning, lithium does all of that. So
last question for you before I turn it over, if that's all right.
No,
We've
perfect.
talked so much about lithium. We've talked about, the 2 different drugs that you're working on to go ahead and, work with Alzheimer's, PTSD as well. We've had multiple, interviews where it's kind of like, hey, folks, you're focusing on Alzheimer's disease, which is obviously such a terrible disease for a loved one or even one yourself to kind of deal with. what do you think kind of gives you the edge or the advantage to go ahead and take market share to a degree that makes you a successful company compared to anyone else that's trying to do a similar thing?
That's a great question. I love that question. So, and when I talk about lithium, and I talk about there's no other drug on the market that has been studied as much as lithium, where you talk about 500 human clinical trials. We talk about over 5,000 publications. It's well characterized, well documented. We know everything about lithium. Yes, it's off patent and it's
Right.
so prescribed. In the United States, we're talking about a little bit over 3 million prescriptions still a year. It can actually be used by itself as a monotherapy, or it could be used for most antidepressants. It can be used in conjunction to help with suicidal ideation. So when you have thoughts of suicide, etc., you use lithium. So when we talk about Alzheimer's, we want to also talk about, basically neurodegenerative diseases and psychiatric disorder. We want to talk about something that can help, something that's been here, for a long time, that we really haven't been able to unlock the potential of it and the benefits
Yeah.
of it. And it's lithium. It's kind of like, why reinvent the wheel when you can really improve the wheel
Right.
and make it that much better? And I think that's exactly what the inventors of our technology and the scientists who have been working on this product have been able to do. We've been able to really unlock the potential and create pretty much a gold mine. So we're in it
Yeah.
for the long run. So at this point, we see it as we're just going through the motions. The FDA is not going to let you, put out a drug. Yes, you've gotten to a dosage that will not require drug monitoring, and it's much more effective, and potentially you can pop it like Tic Tacs. But you also want to make sure that you finish your phase 2s, finish your phase 3, submit the NDA to the FDA to get approval,
Yeah.
so before we commercialize the product. But it's
How long
really,
till then, do you think? Till the commercial act? How long till like my grandmother or my mom or whoever can go ahead and get this prescribed? How far away do you think we are from that?
so I would say we're pretty much, I would say at 2 to 4 years. It's
Okay.
one of those things that, because it is lithium, I don't want to get into the intricacies of things,
Of
but but
course.
we're allowed to use the regulatory pathway 505(b)(2)
Right.
because the active pharmaceutical ingredients of our product, because it is lithium, it's a known entity, and it's been basically a plethora of human clinical trials. You're allowed to pretty much skip a lot of steps, and bridge the gap with safety and efficacy studies as well. So we're allowed to minimize the amount of patient population, the amount of patients you use in your clinical trials. So yeah, so it's more partnering with the FDA and to see how now we can really expedite the development of this product and commercialize it. So we're extremely happy with this one.
And to achieve that type of greatness, obviously is not cheap, right? So are you confident with the financials of the company to go ahead and be able to kind of take care of business here?
Well, I think it's when we talk about a biotech is always in constant mode of raising money.
Yeah.
You have to. So
Right.
in order to commercialize a product, it's going to take. It's not going to be as much as big pharma because of course you can trim the fat and keep it lean. And we have been really good stewards of the capital that we've raised thus far. But we will need to raise. When we went public in 2021, we raised funds to complete a phase 1 with both therapeutic drug candidate. We have surpassed, we've gone past that, phase
Yeah.
1,
Yeah.
with the capital that we have. So in the future, we will need to raise capital, in order to commercialize both of these products.
Yeah.
But
Makes perfect sense.
but the good thing is now we know we have a product that we should raise money to commercialize.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that, if you go through clinical trials and you realize the product doesn't work and you keep raising money and beating a
Exactly.
dead horse. But now,
Yeah.
being that we've just topped the gold standard, that's a huge win for us. And it
Yeah.
tells us that now we can continue and actually be good stewards of the capital and really go out there and say, hey, this is the reason why we're raising new capital. We
Yeah. It
need it
makes perfect
because this product
sense.
is real.
It reminds me of how, the way that I view biotech companies and pharmaceuticals and things like that. It's kind of like how my mom treated me growing up. It's like, hey, if you achieve this, I'll give you this much money. If you achieve this, I'll give you this much, because there's no point of giving me all that if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So I totally get where you're coming from on that.
That's our
Well, look,
philosophy.
yeah, we've talked so much, right, about various topics here, but I did want to at least go ahead and give the floor over to you in case there was something I missed that you wanted to talk about with our viewers. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think that the message is, we talk about a message of hope. 2020, and the whole COVID have created a huge mental health crisis, or at least bring light to it. And I think at this point, having a product that's top to gold standard and having a lithium that will not require therapeutic drug monitoring, and it's much safer. We're talking about patients, talking about 3 million prescriptions a year of lithium that can also be used either by itself or in conjunction for major depressive disorder, PTSD, bipolar disorder. We're talking about 35 million, Americans, and over 600 million people globally. It's leaving a message of, we want to create a message of hope and let people know that we're here, we're working on it, and it'll be available. And we're not going to stop. We're unrelenting, and we're going to continue until we commercialize this product.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. That is Stefan Jackman, who is the CEO of Alzamed Neuro. Ticker on NASDAQ is ALZN. Mr. Jackman, thank you so much for joining us. And I do look forward to more conversations as you go through different phases and trials. And hopefully
Thank you so much.
in 3 years, we'll be recapping what we just did here.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you in the chat for hanging out with us as well. And we appreciate you for asking your questions. I know there were a couple more in there. Unfortunately, due to time, I could not get to them, but appreciate you for watching live trading and also for hanging out with us for this interview. Happy trading. Happy